Hey, welcome back to the course and to the exercises section specifically. This is the first exercise in Module 2. We'll be taking a look at creating user accounts. This is going to be fairly basic. We're going to create two accounts for Jason Murray and Hannah Jones and give them both access to the Livingston site that we created in Module 1. This site was created when we imported the Liferay archive file. You didn't have to create it manually yourself. It was done for you as part of that import process. The reason why we are adding the user to this site is to demonstrate the concept of site membership, which means that sites are comprised of both public and private pages. By default, a guest can access any public page without having to log in. By default, a guest can access any public pages, but if you want to access private pages, you need to be a site member. Now, the Livingston site doesn't actually even have any private pages. So to demonstrate this concept, I've gone ahead and created my own private page with almost no content, just to demonstrate this feature. So let's get started. Again, here are the steps. Create a user account, change the password, give access to the default site for both users. And if you want to take a stab at some bonus exercises, you can try creating a user for your own self, assigning a role, which we're not going to try in this exercise, but it should be fairly straightforward. And play around with some more of the additional information that you can supply when you are editing a user. So after you initially create a user, you have a whole slew of options as far as what you can edit for that user, what kind of contact information or preferences you can give them. Go ahead and take a look at all of that on the Edit User screen. So let's get started. I actually already have these users created. Now, once again, I'm logged in as Josiah Copeland, and I'm seeing that message down here that says I need to re-log in because I've logged out because of the timeout. So I'm going to do that. Okay. I had to refresh the page because it became unresponsive. So let's go ahead and log in as our system admin user. I have his password set to A. You may have it set to test, whatever you specified when we created that user. Let's go to users and organizations. I've already created these users, so you get to see some extras here. Let's say you want to delete a user, but what do you have to do? Well, first you have to deactivate them. And then from there, you can filter this search container to show inactive users. And then you can go and actually delete or reactivate the user. So it's a two-step process. Let's create our first user by clicking on the Add User button. And once again, this is under Control Panel, Users, Users and Organizations. We'll give him the screen name of J. Murray. We use Tab to quickly move through this form, which is kind of nice. You don't have to use the mouse. And first name, last name. I'm only going to enter the required fields and then press save. You don't have to worry about if you miss something here. You can always edit the user to add that additional information. Request was completed successfully, and it redirects us to the Edit User screen, which has a contact and preferences section that you'll be using in the bonus exercise. And then we're going to be using the general section here. First thing, let's go ahead and reset a password, or set a password for James when he first logs in. And then the last step we need to do is give him membership to the default site. Now I actually have more sites than you'll have, so don't be confused here. You'll be creating these sites later on in the course. This is the default site that we imported with that Liferay archive file, so I'm going to select that one and then press save. Don't forget to press save. Whenever you're interacting with a form, if you navigate away, even if you see that this site is added here, right? It doesn't mean that that has been saved yet. Particularly if you're in a really long form like this, you might be tempted just to edit something and navigate away. But we actually need to save our selection, and we're done. Let's go ahead and quickly go through that process again for Hannah Jones. When you're only creating a couple users, this can be pretty fast. Update the password. And site membership. That's it. We're done. So just to test this out, I'm actually going to go to a site, the Livingston Hotels and Resorts site. And I just want to demonstrate that I have actually gone and created my own private page that you won't have here on your, I've gone to the site, I've gone to Site Builder, Pages. I'm looking at the pages that are made in this site. And I've created my own private page that just is called private. That's the title of the page. Doesn't have any content. The concept here is that any guest should be able to access all the public pages, but as far as a private page, any user even in our portal can access the public pages, no problem. But if you want to access a private page, you need to be a member of the site. Let's test this out. Now I've gone and actually memorized this friendly URL for the private page. And this friendly URL is something we can type directly into the browser to navigate directly to this page. We'll go ahead and copy that. Let's log in as James Murray and test it out. We'll shortly update that to make it even quicker to type. I'm just going to use A. Again, saving a password reminder question. We don't need that right now. So here we are on the site, and we have all the public pages here. And I believe the URL was group/guest/2. And there we go. That's our private page. No content, but we can tell it's a private page because of the page title. So that wraps it up for the first exercise. Fairly straightforward. Please join me in the next one.